it down, but not before reaching the 30. It's a gain of 35. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Here's a give to Madison running right. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with that have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Yeah, absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team was saying, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor, and that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Going on the ground with Madison. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's not going to sniff the 1st down here. He stopped at the 25. It's a gain of 7, and it'll be 4th down. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's closing in on 200 yards on the ground with the 4th quarter still to come. We're in the 3rd. Good shot to get there.
And now he's got to make sure he convinces his coaching staff to leave him out there and keep touching the ball, because when you've had that kind of a day, there is a tendency to think about getting him out and saving some of it. Running backs never like to save yardage.
You know he's tapping his quarterback on the shoulder. I'll take the ball again, please, right?
Not turning down any carries.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Back to throw. Shaw, and it's complete. Hooper, and he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
You must be getting tired of seeing me.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger. and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Here's Shaw, and that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Michael Pilardi now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Going into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's time for them to give them a rest. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Shaw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. On now, Graham Gano. He's hit from 63 as recently as last year. This to make it a 3-score game late. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will make this now a 19-point advantage. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. He's going to air one out. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Cousins now. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing, Cousins. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Delano Hill. The 30. 10. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a 4th quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Gano now to add the extra point. And that will bump the lead up to 26. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dontari Poe marches in for the sack.
That's how we do it, baby.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. K1 Short able to record his 5th sack of the season.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Look at the dance and the juke. And he loses the football a 2nd time.
Let's go, boy. Bring it out.
Was hoping to make a play there on the return with his speed. Instead, he makes a play for the other side.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard coaches say, you know, sometimes it's not really about those X's and O's we draw up. It's about those Jimmies and Joes. And when you have a punt returner, he's one of those Jimmies and Joes, one of the best athletes. He's unable to make the play that they were seeking, though.
Carolina getting set to take the field. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they've put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Come on. What? Go.
2nd and 11. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Yo, 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 yo. Yo.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together. Set. Hut.
Back to throw again. That's going to be caught by Samuel. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, you know, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. That'll bring up 2nd down. On 2nd down, Cousins again. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 16.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. 64.
Going to get it to BB here. It's a jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Mike's behind. 180. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Motion. Block. What's that?
On second and 11 now. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. And now it's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. That was shades of Tennessee volunteer football back in the 80s with Charles Davis coming up from the secondary to make the tackle for a loss.
You mean my teammates doing that, right? Because they would tell you, my coach would say, where's that tape? I want to see that. But how about the complete package there? Not just playing the pass, but being a willing tackler and making a really nice play.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This one from 35 yards away. Bailey's kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They'll run it with Scarlett. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now a shotgun handoff to Scarlett. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Shaw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Pick me up. Here we go. Hey, alert 3, alert 3.
On the handoff, it's Scarlett. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6. At the Vikings 27.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, he's not the starter coming in, getting his first carry off the bench. That's not the way to earn more carries.
You have to stay in the game, even if you're not on the field, right? Stay mentally sharp, stay ready, and above all, when you get into the game, hold on to the football. Don't let the other team have it.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a give here to Scarlett. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Going to give this time to the tailback. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And when you break it down, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting. But obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.
So for Carolina, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.